Hello, students. Welcome to English class. So, today we are dealing with a poem, and the title of our poem is The Listeners, written by Walter de la Mare. So, The Listeners was published in 1912 in Walter de la Mare's second collection, and it is one of his most popular poems and touches on many of themes and content that the poet is remembered for. So, before going to our lesson, let's familiarize with the poet. Walter de la Mare, 1873 to 1956. He is best known as a versatile and skilled poet who could change ordinary things into something magical. In this poem, he creates a world full of magic, drama, and suspense. A traveler knocks at the door of a mansion in a forest on a moonlight night, and he wants to be let in, but the listeners from within do not respond. So, in the end, the traveler rides away. So that's all about the poet. Now let's begin the poem. The listeners. The poem begins with the speaker designing the traveler and his host, and they are at the door of a house on which the traveler is knocking, and he is expecting to be greeted by someone, but no one answers his calls. So let's start. The listeners. Is there anybody there? Said the traveler, knocking on the moonlight door, and his door in the silence charmed the grasses of the forest ferny floor, and a bird flew up out of the turret above the traveler's head, and he smote upon the door a second time. Is there anybody there? He said. So here, a traveler who was traveling on a house comes across a house located in the middle of the wood, and he knocks at the door inquiring if there is anybody inside. And it was late in the evening, and the door was visible because of the moonlight. And the host was too tired and hungry. While the traveler was knocking at the house silently, the host grazed the grasses nearby, and it was a forest full of ferns. Fern is a kind of green plant with leaves like feathers. So it was a forest full of ferns, and there was a bird that flew out of the roof above the traveler's head. And the traveler knocked on the door once again, asking if there was anyone inside. Still, no one answers, and the door remains closed. But no one descended to the traveler. No head from the leaf sprinkled sill leaned over and looked into his grey eyes, where he stood perplexed and still. But only a host of phantom listeners that dwelt in the lone house then stood listening in the quiet of the moonlight. To that voice from the world of men stood thronging to the faint moonbeams on the dark stair that goes down to the empty hall, hearkening in an air state and shaken by the lonely traveler's call. So no one came to open the door, even though the traveler knocking the door again and again, and the traveler couldn't see anyone even on the window sill above, and he expected someone to lean over the window sill, which was full of leaves, and look into his eyes that was grey. So here the poet says that the traveler's eyes being grey, which portrays his emotions, and the traveler was expecting someone to help him, and he was confused and still standing there. So since no one is opening the door, the poet says the only possible listeners are phantoms or ghosts that live in that abandoned house. Hence, the house remains abandoned. The traveler says that the phantoms or ghosts are the only inhabitants of the house, and the ghost stood listening to the voice of the traveler from the world of human beings, and they go within an empty hall and take to the stairs as any normal human beings would. And these ghostly forms do not make contact with their world, and they are helpless to reply to the traveler's call, although they can hear it. And the air around them is moved and swayed by the sounds made by a lone traveler's call. And he felt in his heart their strangeness, their stillness answering his cry, while his horse moved, cropping the dark turf neath the stark and leafy sky. So the narrative returns to the heart of the traveler, and he suddenly feels strange, as if he knows there are phantoms inside who are listening to his words. And it is the quiet of the house that answer his cry. And this fact inspires him to try again. For he suddenly smote the door even louder and lifted his head. Tell, tell them I came, and no one answered. That I kept my word, he said. Never the least cheer made the listeners, though every word he spake fell echoing through the shadowiness of the still house from the one man left awake. So our speaker smote on the door once more, and this time with more force, and he makes his knocks louder. After he lift his head up to the window that was mentioned in the previous lines and calls out, and the words he speaks increase the mystery of the entire narrative. And he asks that the presence he feels inside the house, tell them I came. So as one would expect, there is no answer, and he follows this up another phrase, that I kept my word. And there is no revelatory statement following up these odd words to explain the situation. And this is both a negative and positive. While one's personal curiosity will not be sated, one is able to craft any narrative they want on top of Delamere. So the final lines of this section describe how the words he spake fell through. Ay, they heard his foot upon the stirrup, and the sound of iron on stone, and how the silence surged softly backward when the plunging hoofs were gone. So, in the last four lines, the speaker returns to the phantom or phantoms who are listening. So, by the time the traveler leaves the front of the house, there is only one man left awake. The single listener took note of the traveler's foot upon the stirrup of the saddle, and the phantom heard the passing of the silence as the man moved away until there was nothing. So, I think it is clear to you. That's all about our poem. So, let's see some poetic devices in the poem. So, see you in the next class with another video. That's all for today. Thank you.